in some moments when they are in their best level, they are really good team with a lot of quality all over the pitch, on the bench as well. Of course, they had some step backs during the season so far, but we analyze them. We know how they are capable to do and the quality they have, of course, and if they are at their best level, of course, they are really tough team to play against, and of course we analyze them thinking that they will be at their best level, of course.
I don't think the loan doesn't make sense. It's either he fights himself and he proves himself in this atmosphere, in this environment, or he goes. But for me, there's still a way for him. There's still a perspective for him, but not going to be easy because the competition there is really strong.
Okay, last two, Carl and at the back.
Mr. Tanaka, you just spoke about you're really happy to see players make their international teams. I want to discuss Jadon Sancho, who wasn't selected for England. He's ill again. What are you making of his first half season under you so far?
It was up and down. When he some really good performances, and I think he was in a good direction. But the last weeks, he struggled with illness, and then it's normal that you don't get the nomination for it, because I think every manager will take only fit players into the World Cup.
Can I also ask, Diogo Dalot suspended for Fulham. Who is I want to talk about two players who haven't featured too much. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, your other right back, and Brandon Williams, who can play there. How have they been getting on in the last 4 or 5 months?
Not that well, because Brandon wasn't available, bad injury, and he really struggles. But he's in the right direction. He's in a good way. He's back on the pitch, and he will return in team training. Next week. He will go with us in training camp to Cadiz. He will there be available for the team. So happy for him. So that's good to know. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he struggles as well, but in different side. He had some injuries, some illnesses. So was also often not available, but doesn't have a real big problem. So it's about him to get really fit and to make competition with Diogo for the second season off.
Last one at the back.
Erik, about Anthony, is there any chance of him getting fit for Sunday, or it's an injury that needs more days?
We work on that, but I can't confirm that he will be in the squad for Sunday. But he made progress last days, and we will see tomorrow, Saturday, if he will be available for the team for Sunday. Pardon?
Not a threat to the World Cup?
No, definitely not.
He obviously scored again tonight. I think it was only his second start this season, but he's probably the best finisher you have. So is he key to you having a winning season, him staying fit?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. In the front line, the availability from the players, that is a concern for us. And we had so many games like Newcastle United, Marcus Rashford ill, reported himself ill. We had to play some other games that we really have to do improvisation to construct a proper offensive line. And so if we can't do that, then it's really difficult to get into the first 4 when you don't have the players to construct a proper offensive line.
He has been injured previously, in previous seasons. Is there a concern there that it's obviously not his fault, but that there's some underlying issue maybe with regard to him staying fit?
Yeah, it's of course we analyze that as well. He's analyzing that as well. And what can we do to change that? And we made some measures to do that. And so it is always when you are that often, you are into injuries, illnesses, or what else. There is a reason, whatever, and we have to fight out. But sometimes it's also just bad luck, and I think he was really in a good way. And then the last 10 minutes in Atletico Madrid, he caught that injury, and that threw him really back. So happy he's now back, and I hope we will manage it, and that he stay fit, because as you said, like others, but he is an important part from this squad.
What do you think about Fulham? Obviously, they came close to a result at Manchester City. They appear to be a better team than they were when they were last in the Premier League. So what do you think about what you're facing at the weekend?
Oh, God, that is going to be a really tough game, and I think in the Premier League everything very close. But what I have seen from Fulham so far is really energetic, a lot of enthusiasm. Also play really decent football out from the back. I remember the game against Liverpool, start of the season, and so you have to be really good there to get a result. So we have to do everything what is in our power to get the right result, and that is what we're preparing now.
Have we seen the best of Man United since you took over?
Today?
Have we seen the best of United in any game?
I think we played some more good games than only tonight. But I think what we need is consistency, and from consistency, of course, we want to bring the consistency on a higher level.
Erik, there's some debate about Harry Maguire's form and match fitness going to the World Cup, but in your opinion, do you feel he's ready?
If he's ready?
Harry Maguire's been some debate
Yeah.
about form and match fitness. In your opinion, do you feel he's ready?
I think so, that he is ready. Yeah, I see him every day training. I see his games. I think he came back from injury, but he's ready to perform on the highest level.
Well, it is the last match before the World Cup break across the weekend. Fulham against Manchester United, saving a good one for the last game as well, Leanne. Manchester United were beaten heavily last weekend by Aston Villa, but then they got revenge against the same team in the League Cup in the week. So heading into this World Cup break, where are you at with the work Erik ten Hag has done so far?
I think what I'm looking forward to happening is that when he's come into the job, he's had to talk about the Harry Maguire situation, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's had to kind of manage. And I think he's managed the situations very well. What I like about him, he's always honest in his analysis, in his interviews. I think he's going to push the players. And I think tactically this year, we look like we know what we're doing. Manchester United look like they know what they're doing. They look like they have a game plan, because I think for the last 2 or 3 seasons, you couldn't quite tell what the Manchester United philosophy was. You know, are they playing with wing-backs? Are they playing with a 3? Are they playing with Marcus Rashford down the middle? And it was almost like there was no consistency. No one could tell, could they? What type of team Manchester United, inconsistent. But I think he's brought that. I'm still not getting carried away, because I still think there's a lot of work to do. But I think he's taken the team, made them better. He couldn't have got any worse, could he? After Ralph Rangnick, I don't think he did an amazing job. But I just feel like sometimes the players have to step up as well. And I think players like Luke Shaw seem to get better when they're under a little bit of pressure. When Alex Telles came to the club, Luke Shaw got better. Then Malacia has come. Luke Shaw seems to be playing some of the best football I've seen him play, and it's obviously good for England. So I'm not getting carried away, but I think he's progressed the team, and hopefully he can stop having to talk about players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Maguire and just manage the team that's in front of him.
How convinced are you by what he's done so far?
I'm actually very convinced, I have to say. I wonder if it's when you're close to a club, you kind of have big expectations.
I'm a little bit apprehensive because Manchester United have had so much, we go on a good run of not losing any games, but then again, you don't want to get too carried away, because look what happened at Aston Villa last weekend.
Listen, I think he's restored a lot of respect to the shirt. I think his dealings in the transfer market have been very good. Martinez looks terrific. Anthony looks very good too.
Eriksen and Casemiro.
Eriksen has been a terrific buy, a wonderful free transfer. And Casemiro, it's taken a bit of time for him to get into the team, but as soon as he plays, you see where that money's gone. I think as far as the club are concerned, they're all working hard. There is an identity to the team now. It looks less like they're trying to amass Galacticos and more like they're trying to put together a team with some consideration going into who comes in. They're getting consistency in terms of results. Yeah, last week was disappointing, and hello to all the Aston Villa fans who proved me wrong, because I really did, in all seriousness, I really did expect them to beat Villa, and what surprised me was the speed that Aston Villa went 2-0 up, and the lack of focus in that match, just very unlike a Ten Hag team. And I think one of the biggest things he's done for himself is earn respect. Because at the start of the season, lots of people, after the Brentford game, lots of people said, do you know what? We think he might be Erik 10 months rather than Erik Ten Hag. But I think as far as he is concerned, he has really restored that respect that he had earned from his previous job. And now he looks like a Manchester United manager.
And after that Brentford game, Darren, obviously there was that talk about him bringing the players in the next day when they'd usually be doing a warm down, and he ran them. Apparently he ran with them as well. And clearly it worked, because I never imagined that Manchester United within the next couple of weeks would beat Liverpool and Arsenal in that way that they did. Nobody ever saw that coming. So I like Ten Hag, but I'm still, not getting carried away too much, because I want to see more. Garnacho's been brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, he obviously was there before Ten Hag, but he's given him that chance.
And also Rashford. I mean, but lots of people have written off Rashford, and now he looks back to the player he used to be, and he's earned a place in the World Cup squad as well. His confidence is coming back. That's down to that man as well. I think they're serious top 4 contenders.
OK, what about Fulham? How much of a threat will they be to United this weekend? With no Mitrovic in this side, he's unlikely to be fit for the game.
Yeah, but I think, we'll do my predictions next, but I actually didn't do a prediction that people would probably expect, because I've been surprised by Fulham this year. I did this show a few months ago and I said that they were going to go straight back down. Mitrovic wouldn't be able to cut it in the Premier League, and how wrong was I? I think Marco Silva's done a fantastic job. Big recruitment, Pereira has been absolutely brilliant. He looks, if only he was that player at Manchester United, but maybe he wasn't able to be. And that freedom, Tim Ream, just got picked for the US men's national team. And, he's been brilliant this year. There's been a lot of players in that team. Paulinho has been brilliant as well. So credit to the manager. And I think nobody expected Fulham to be in this position. They were 7th last week, 9th now. And, they're doing really, really good.
OK, well, you mentioned your predictions. Let's take a look at what you've gone for, and we'll try and focus on some of the games that we've not mentioned so far. But just so we know what you did, you went for a draw between Fulham and Manchester United. Let's focus on, who haven't we talked about? Bournemouth, Everton. Wow, you've gone for a win for the Cherries. Yeah,
I think, a lot of people will probably be talking about redemption, because Bournemouth obviously beat them, midweek in 4-1. But I don't know, I feel like Gary O'Neill, I think for Everton, it's been a little bit indifferent defensively. They've looked decent this year, but I feel like in the attack, again, we talk about players leaving clubs, but players like Richarlison, Maupai's not going to get you double digits. So I feel like, that one might be a bit of a surprise to some people, but I'm backing it.
And looking at that, you reckon that heading into this World Cup break, unfortunately, Nottingham Forest will stay bottom of the table?
Yeah, I think Forest are an interesting team, because they beat Liverpool, but then they can't seem to beat teams in and around them. I backed them to stay up before the season started. I said 22 new players, no problem, because you've got to try something. Norwich come up, they go back down. So I think, but it looks right now, it doesn't look that great. And I think Crystal Palace, Wilfried Zaha, Michael Olise, Eze, they look absolutely brilliant. And that's why I've gone with that result.
You've gone for a Spurs win against Leeds. Darren, do you agree with that? Or do you think we could see Spurs falter again?
No, I think Spurs, I would go with that one. I think the firepower in that forward line for Spurs, even without Son and Richarlison, should be too much for Leeds.
West Ham, Leicester, a 1-1 draw. Leicester have massively improved lately.
Yeah, they have. And I think West Ham, I think a lot of West Ham fans are hoping after the World Cup they'll kind of kick on, because in the Europa Conference League they've gone unbeaten, but that's not the competition that West Ham fans would have wanted them to be in. But Leicester, people are talking about Brendan Rodgers, potentially he was going to be gone a couple of months ago, and look at them now. So, yeah, I've gone with a draw for that one. I feel like both teams, potentially on any day could win, but...
And you've gone for a Brighton win.
Yeah, just for you.
Thanks, Leanne. I thought you might have done that just for me. Just some news to bring you as well. You have gone for a Liverpool 2-0 victory over Southampton. Does that change in any way with the news that Jurgen Klopp will not be actually in the dugout this weekend? He's going to be serving his touchline ban.
I don't think it will. I think the mentality is such that they will be motivated to do their job. Southampton's still a little bit of a soft centre. I expect Liverpool to go out there with their firepower. Núñez, Salah, fill their boots against Southampton.
I wouldn't want to be sitting next to these managers. Did you see Antonio Conte last week? The animated managers, it's unbelievable, but I don't think it'll make much of a difference.